December 7th, 1941. The paradise island of Oahu in Hawaii. The American naval base at Pearl Harbor awakens under the gentle Pacific sun. It's a quiet Sunday morning. Many sailors are still asleep after their Saturday night leave. Others are preparing for church services. No one suspects that this morning will be the last peaceful morning for an entire generation of Americans. In just a few hours, this idyllic haven will transform into a fiery inferno, and the day itself will go down in history as a date which will live in infamy. The attack on Pearl Harbor sent shockwaves through the nation, forever changing America and drawing it into the most destructive war in human history. But was this tragedy the result of a stunning Japanese military success and catastrophic American negligence? Or was it a cold, cynical trap set by the White House itself, designed to provide an undeniable pretext for entering the war? Let's delve into the details of that fateful day and try to find some. To understand the reasons behind the attack, we need to go back several years. By the late 1930s, the Japanese Empire's ambitions were growing daily. Under the slogan of creating a greater East Asia co-prosperity sphere, Japan pursued a brutal expansion, seizing Manchuria, vast territories of China, and French Indochina. Washington strongly disapproved. In response, the United States began tightening economic sanctions. In July 1941, following another act of aggression, President Franklin D. Roosevelt delivered a devastating blow. He imposed a full embargo on oil shipments to Japan. For a nation whose army and navy depended 90% on imported fuel, this was tantamount to an act of strangulation. Negotiations between the two countries reached an impasse. In Tokyo, the staunch
The plan itself was brilliant in its audacity. 6 heavy aircraft carriers, the elite of the Japanese fleet, under the command of Vice Admiral Chuichi Nagumo, sailed in complete radio silence from a remote bay in the Kuril Islands. They had to secretly cross almost 6,000 kilometers of hostile ocean. The inspiration for the operation was the successful British attack on the Italian fleet at Taranto, which the Japanese had studied meticulously. They even developed special wooden stabilizers for their torpedoes, so they wouldn't embed themselves in the shallow harbor bottom of Pearl Harbor. But the closer we get to the moment of the attack, the more strange questions and unexplained coincidences emerge, forcing us to reconsider. The first warning sign came even before dawn at 3:42 a.m. An American minesweeper spotted an unknown submarine periscope at the harbor entrance. Nearly 3 hours later, at 6:45 a.m., the destroyer USS Ward attacked and, presumably, sank it with depth charges. This was one of 5 Japanese midget submarines dispatched for an internal attack. First blood was drawn. The report.
And finally, the biggest question of all. American intelligence, having broken Japanese codes, knew about the impending attack. On the evening of December 6th, just 12 hours before the assault, President Roosevelt already held in his hands the decrypted final 14th part of the Japanese note, which was a direct declaration of war. After reading it, he told his aide,
This means war. Yet no direct orders were issued to put the Pearl Harbor base on full alert. Furthermore, U.S. Secretary of War Henry Stimson later admitted to a congressional committee, and I quote, "The question was how we should maneuver them into firing the first shot. We had to let Japan make the overt act so that the American people would be fully united." And the icing on the cake? All three American aircraft carriers, the USS Enterprise, Lexington, and Saratoga, the primary and most valuable Japanese targets, by some fortunate coincidence, had left Pearl Harbor days before the attack to deliver aircraft to other bases. Only outdated battleships from World War I remained in the harbor. Did the trap just snap shut?
At 7:53 a.m., the commander of the first attack wave of 183 aircraft, Mitsuo Fuchida, gazing at the harbor below, transmitted the code signal, "Tora, Tora, Tora, Tiger, Tiger, Tiger." It meant complete surprise achieved. Hell rained down on the sleeping base. For many Americans, the first sign of attack wasn't sirens, but the explosions of bombs. Panic, chaos, disorganized resistance. Anti-aircraft guns were mothballed, ammunition locked away. The battleships, lined up neatly off Ford Island like on parade, became perfect targets. Fuchida recalled, "I peered intently through my binoculars at the ships, peacefully at anchor. There was not a single enemy fighter in the sky, and not a single gun flash on the ground." Soon, a monstrous explosion erupted, felt even by Japanese pilots miles away. An 800-kilogram armor-piercing bomb penetrated the deck of the battleship USS Arizona and detonated its forward powder magazines. The ship was literally torn apart, taking 1,177 lives to the bottom, almost half of all who died that day. Nearby, the battleship USS Oklahoma, struck by multiple torpedoes, slowly capsized, trapping hundreds of sailors inside. An hour later, the second wave of 167 planes arrived, finishing off the wounded ships and incinerating American aircraft parked wing to wing on the airfields. At 9:45 a.m., the attack concluded. The consequences were catastrophic. 2,403 Americans were killed and another 1,178 wounded. 18 ships were sunk or heavily damaged, including 8 battleships, the entire pride of the Pacific Fleet. Nearly 200 aircraft were destroyed. The Japanese lost only 29 planes. It was a stunning tactical triumph. However, Admiral Nagumo, fearing a counterattack from the missing American aircraft carriers, made what many historians would call a fatal error. He called off the third wave of the attack, which was meant to destroy crucial targets, the massive oil storage tanks, repair docks, and fleet headquarters. It was this oversight that would allow the Americans to rapidly rebuild the base and continue the war. The very next day, December 8th, President Roosevelt delivered a speech to Congress that would echo through history. America, previously divided by debates over isolationism, united in a singular surge of rage and thirst for vengeance. War was declared. In response, on December 11th,
Germany and Italy declared war on the United States. Local conflicts definitively escalated into World War II. Japanese Admiral Yamamoto proved prophetic. Upon learning of the operation's success, he grimly remarked, "I fear all we have done is to awaken a sleeping giant and fill him with a terrible resolve." The turning point would come just 6 months later, at the Battle of Midway, where the U.S. fleet, relying on its surviving aircraft carriers and the intact repair facilities of Pearl Harbor, inflicted a defeat on Japan from which it would never truly recover.
So, what was it? A catastrophic negligence? A stunning Japanese success and a chain of tragic coincidences? Or was it a cynical and cold-blooded provocation by the American leadership who sacrificed their fleet and thousands of lives for a greater goal? To enter the war and change its outcome. History still offers no definitive answer. What do you think? Was it an error or a carefully planned scheme? Share your opinion in the comments below. And be sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss our new historical investigations. Thank you for watching.